It's Sunram. Sunram finds an OC left pocket three on the way. Tickles it Twine.
Now it's Maddie Bass on the drive. Bass, nice move, and Bass with an easy layup.
To the feet, Ruppel brought back down. O'Connor, though, lost the grab and down to the mat. Ruppel with a chance for a pin with a minute 15. There it is.
Pick and roll, Kaloran hooks it underneath, and a bunny for Hannig.
Right side to Charlie Shaw. Shaw looks right, drives in, attacks the double team, and splits him for the layup.
Halston Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is proud to present to you this broadcast on yourliveevent.com.
All right, welcome everybody back to the North Dakota High School Girls State Dual Tournament here live from the Fargo Dome. This is yourliveevent.com, and this is Brent Dick announcing the girls dual action here, the consolation round match between the Dickinson Midgets and the Lisbon Broncos. That's your consolation matchup here on yourliveevent.com. You can also catch the semifinal duel between the Central Cass Squirrels and the Minot Magicians, as the Central Cass Squirrels defeated Dickinson in the first round, the quarterfinal round, by a score of 38-33. And Minot defeated the Lisbon Broncos in the quarterfinals by a score of 57-16. So that's your top side semifinals and consolation round duels here for your North Dakota State girls dual team tournament. In the bottom side of the bracket, the other semifinal duel is Bismarck Legacy taking on the Bismarck Demons, as Bismarck Legacy defeated South Border by a score of 63-12 in quarterfinal action. And the Grand Forks in Bismarck defeated Grand Forks, the Night Riders, by a score of 60-18. So that is your semifinal matchup, Bismarck Legacy Sabres versus the Bismarck Demons. And then your consolation round match is the South Border Mustangs taking on the Grand Forks Night Riders. And that is the 1 o'clock duels here inside the Fargo Dome for North Dakota High School Girls State Dual Team Tournament, as we will step away, come back after a word from our sponsors.
We always say we're a one-stop shop. North Star Ag is a full-service shoreline machinery dealership. So we have the 3 departments: sales, service, parts, fully staffed, have full inventory of all the parts and whole goods needed. We really value the service and the support that any traditional dealership would give you, but we specialize in shorelines. You can give us a call at 701-361-4790 or visit our website at northstar-ag.com.
Hey, welcome back to yourliveevent.com, as this is your North Dakota State Girls Dual Team Tournament on your live event. This is Brent Dick broadcasting from the Fargo Dome. We'll take a rundown of the recap of the Lisbon versus Minot duel in that quarterfinal round, as all duels start at 142 pounds. This one at 142 was Riley Hansen of Minot over Veda Carblum by fall. In 2 minutes and 38 seconds, Minot went ahead 6-0 at 148 pounds. Kara Flagley of Minot over Alexis Ranke by fall. And then it was 12-0 in favor of Minot. 155 pounds in the duel. That first quarterfinal duel was Macy Boise, the state champion at 155 pounds, taking on the state runner-up Ava Carblum. And Macy Boyce defeated Carblum by a decision 6-3. And Minot went up in that one by a score of 15-0. The Broncos on the board at 170 pounds. Cora Oster received a forfeit. Then Jadens Fletcher from Minot drops down to 190 pounds. She's normally up there at heavyweight. She's a state runner-up as she defeated Nevaeh Buffett of the Lisbon Broncos. Buffett placed 5th at 190 pounds, but Fletcher drops down, takes on Buffett, and Fletcher wins by fall. And that put Minot up by a score of 21-6. Ellis Ad picks up another forfeit. The dual score was 21-12 in favor of Minot. That was at 250 pounds. And then Minot would reel off 6 straight pins until 136 pounds, where Emerson Schwab would pick up Lisbon's first head-to-head win in the duel and also in state tournament action, as Emerson Schwab defeated Peyton Russell at 136 pounds by major decision, 10-12. Their final dual score was 57-16 in the Broncos' first quarterfinal duel. Take a look at that duel between Central Cass and Dickinson, just to kind of give you the place to start here for Dickinson. Dickinson faced Central Cass, and in that duel at 142 pounds, it was Lois Schneider over Jemiah Cunningham of Dickinson by fall in 2 minutes and 49 seconds. At 148 pounds, it was Clancy Meyer of Dickinson over Emerson Flady of Central Cass by fall in 4 minutes and 39 seconds. That duel was tied up at 6 apiece after 148 pounds. 155 pounds, it was Cheyenne Helland of Central Cass over Isabel Midbeers by fall in 3 minutes and 46 seconds. That duel scored 12-6 in favor of Central Cass. Going into 170 pounds, Colby McIlvain of Dickinson over Isabel Dutt of Central Cass by fall in 33 seconds. That was at 170 pounds. That duel tied up once again after 170 pounds. And 190, it was Ava Gullison of Central Cass over Kendra Erickson of Dickinson by fall in 1:07. Central Cass would rattle off 3 pins at a major decision through 106 pounds. At 106, it was Anna White of Central Cass, winner by major decision, as she bumps up in the duel to 106 pounds, as she won by major decision over Lucia Chiveri of Dickinson. That was a 9-0 win for Anna White at 106. Then 112 pounds, Melody DeVries picks up another win by major decision. At 112 pounds, Dickinson picks up a win by fall over Emma Dutt in 3 minutes and 54 seconds. Central Cass answers back at 118 pounds with Melody DeVries over Emily Schilling by major decision 10-1. And then Dickinson would win the last 3 matches of that duel. At 124 pounds, it was Ember Waters of Dickinson over Brianna Meyer of Central Cass by decision 3-1. 130 pounds, Brianna Erickson of Dickinson over Emma Schneider of Central Cass by fall in 28 seconds. And 136 pounds, it was Christina Dorman of Dickinson over Lakin Capone of Central Cass by fall in 4 minutes and 18 seconds. And that final duel score, it was a 38-33 win for Central Cass. That advanced Central Cass into the semifinals. And then Dickinson goes into this consolation match or duel with the Lisbon Broncos. So those are the first quarterfinal round duels for each team and how they ended up. The Central Cass Squirrels defeated Dickinson by a score of 38-33. And then Minot defeated the Lisbon Broncos by a score of 57-16. The Broncos picking up that one head-to-head win by Schwab, that major decision. And then the other 2 wins at 170 pounds and 250 pounds were by forfeit for the Broncos, 16 points. So that is your head-to-head matchup here, this consolation round duel for the Lisbon Broncos versus the Dickinson Midgets. That's just ahead here on YourLiveEvent.com. We're about 5 minutes away from our opening match at 142 pounds.
Watch the YourLiveEvent.com Coaches Show presented by the Hillsborough Economic Development Corporation. Stay up to date with the latest goings-on in the region, as we'll hear from area coaches in North Dakota and Minnesota. Plus, we'll highlight area high school seniors and their achievements in the classroom and on the court with our Senior Spotlight. That's the YourLiveEvent.com Coaches Show presented by the Hillsborough Economic Development Corporation, Wednesday nights at 7 on YourLiveEvent.com.
All right, welcome back to YourLiveEvent.com as we continue our Irie Insurance pre-dual show. Get your insurance protection for all you want with your customer service that you deserve at Irie Insurance. They cover it all from home, auto, crop, commercial, and benefits insurance. Go to IrieInsurance.com to get a free quote. This is your Irie Insurance pre-tournament show here on YourLiveEvent.com. As we continue on, look at that North Dakota Class B boys dual team tournament. That's down there on the east end of the Fargo Dome in that first quarterfinal round. It was the number 2 seed Velva Aggies over Pembina County North by a score of 46-24. Oaks, the number 3 seed, over Williams County by a score of 31-30. That match came down to the 145-pound head-to-head, where Oaks would win that and defeat Williams County. They defeated the Firestorm by a score of 31-30. And then the other quarterfinal matches on the bottom side of the bracket, number 1 South Border over Carrington by a score of 43-22. And Bowman County over New Salem Almont by a score of 41-28. That was the number 4 seed Bowman County over the number 5 seed New Salem Almont, 41-28. So your semifinal duels on the North Dakota Class B boys tournament is Velva versus Oaks. On the top side of the bracket, the number 2 versus number 3 seed. And then the number 1 seed versus the number 4 seed on the bottom side. The South Border Mustangs, the number 1 seed. And defending state champions, they'll take on the number 4 seed Bowman County Beach. And then your consolation round duels is Pembina County North versus Williams County. And Carrington versus New Salem Almont. In that first consolation round duel, it was Williams County over Pembina County North by a score of 54-24. And then it was New Salem Almont over Carrington by a score of 43-23. So your fifth place duel on the boys side, Class B boys side, is Williams County versus New Salem Almont. And then for seventh place, it's Pembina County North wrestling Carrington. And those duels scheduled to start at approximately 2:30 p.m. Our duels here on the girls' side in this consolation round in their semifinals scheduled to start at 1 p.m. And we're just moments away now for this duel between the Lisbon Broncos and Dickinson. We're going to go ahead and step away. We'll take another word from our sponsors and come back for more action from the North Dakota High School State Girls Dual Team Tournament on yourliveevent.com.
In Hope, North Dakota, we aren't just a town, we're a community, one that you can be proud of, where you and your family can grow. With available jobs, affordable housing, a golf course and pool, the Sportsman Club, and great educational opportunities. There hasn't been a better time to join the Hope community, ideally located between Fargo, Grand Forks, and Jamestown. For more information, go to www.hopend.com. Live, work, and play in Hope, North Dakota.
Dakota Heritage Bank, serving you with locations across North Dakota and northwestern Minnesota, has a strong background in ag and business lending, but they can also help with any auto, recreational, personal, or home loans, including home equity lines of credit. Dakota Heritage Bank is a family-owned community bank where decisions are made locally. Our friendly staff greets you with a smile, takes the time to get to know you, and can help you with your banking needs. Visit us online. Dakota Heritage Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
All right, welcome back here for North Dakota State Girls Dual Team Tournament on yourliveevent.com. This broadcast of the tournament has been authorized by a special arrangement with the Board of Directors of the North Dakota High School Activities Associations, as all broadcasts from this state wrestling tournament on both the both individual and dual team side. As we're waiting for the contestants to come out here, our first matches here at 136 pounds. So we're working our way back here. 136 pounds here with your American Crystal Sugar starting lineups. As this looks like it's Ranke for the Broncos stepping out on the mat. Here at 136, still waiting for Dickinson wrestler to show. As they're now back out there. As all duels underway now for the girls. You're starting at 136 pounds. So it is 148 pounds, my bad. So they had put 36 up there. It was 148. Where we'll start. So that's Jemiah Cunningham of Dickinson taking on Alexis Ranke of the Lisbon Broncos. Cunningham and Ranke locked up in the center of the mat. Ranke goes in. Look, she's trying to hit a headlock. She had wrapped her arm around the head of Cunningham, but Cunningham takes her down to the mat, kind of slips out of that head and arm combination by Ranke. Cunningham has Ranke broke down right next to the scorer's table. And are in the center of the mat on that center edge next to the scorer's table, working up over the top. That's in the first period with a minute 5 on the clock right now. That's Jemiah Cunningham of Dickinson up 3-0. This duel just starting here at 148 pounds. We open up those quarterfinals at 142. This one here at 148 pounds. And Ranke back up to her feet now. 3-1's the score. Down to 40 seconds remaining. Ranke wades back in just off the center circle. The mat center circle. Now working back around circle and still locked up in a collar tie. Snap down by Ranke. She backs up into the center of the mat. Another snap down. Cunningham goes into her. Cunningham's now circles back towards the center. Ranke with her back to the edge of the mat. Center side, near center side. Duck under attempt here by Cunningham. She's going to turn the quarter. Ranke feels that coming on. Cunningham left her head for Ranke. Ranke grabs on, trying to lock this up. Cunningham's going to step around behind for the takedown. Now up 6-1. She goes right away into the crossface and a screwdriver combination. Ranky didn't give up any back points off of that. So 6-1 just your score in favor of Cunningham. They're starting the second period. Ranky in the bottom position. And off the whistle, Ranky is able to quad pod up. She hits the quad pod. Trying to stand up, clear the hips. Cunningham takes her right down hard. Mat return. Ranky, not sure if she's okay. She hit the mat hard, kind of on that right hip. It's an 8-1 lead for Cunningham now with a minute 27. Ranky quad pods up again. Cunningham's going to go to three-quarter Nelson. Actually goes to inside cradle, has it locked up, has Ranky going over to her back. Ranky with the quad pod. Cunningham comes around, cradles her up, takes her over for a couple swipes. And going back to the cradle, she locks it up, rocks her over again. Trying to reset and set up this pinning combination. Ranky still trying to fight out. And it looks like the win by fall for Cunningham over Alexis Ranky. And Dickinson will go up 6-0, now 155 pounds. As Lisbon will send out Ava Carblum. Carblum, state runner-up for the Broncos. Just looking at the individual team scores there on the individual state tournament side, the Lisbon finished in 9th place with 69 points. Dickinson finished in 8th place with 73.5 points. Broncos was 4 state place winners. They sent 8 wrestlers to the state individual tournament. Dickinson looks like they sent 11, finishing in 8th place with 73.5 points. Dickinson was state place winners at 112 pounds with Regan Stravia. At 148 pounds, Jemiah Cunningham, you just saw her out there with the win by fall over Ranky. And then at Clancy Meyer placed third, so a good matchup here at 155 pounds between Ava Carblum, the state runner-up at 155, and Clancy Meyer, the third-place finisher here for Dickinson at 155. And they also have Dickinson also with a state place winner at 170 pounds with Colby McIlvain. So just going by the number of state qualifiers and state place winners, looking like a good matchup. Should be some good head-to-head matchups here between Dickinson and Lisbon here, 155 pounds, the state runner-up versus the state third-place winner. So 155. So far in this dual team tournament, the matchups for Carblum, she had to face the state champion and now has to face the state third-place finisher. So not an easy weight class here in the state dual team tournament here, 155 pounds. So Meyer and Carblum still holding the center of the mat. You saw that first match with Carblum. She didn't want to look like she didn't really want to shoot. Meyer in on another double leg shot on Carblum. Carblum just using those heavy hips. Now she's going to go up over the top, forces Meyer down to her hip. Carblum with the takedown. She goes up 3-0. So Carblum up 3-0. Went right away to a crossface into the screwdriver. Meyer back up to her base. Now is going to tripod up. Carblum trying to keep her down. Mat return, not able to do it. Meyer's going to clear the hands and the hip, runs towards the score table, and with the escape for Clancy Meyer of Dickinson. So Meyer with the escape. Drops down, little arm drag, working the wrist now. That right wrist or left wrist of Carblum. Meyer goes back, working wrist control. In the end of the period, 3-1 lead for Ava Carblum of the Lisbon Broncos. She takes a deep breath, ready to start her second period. She's up 3-1. Meyer with choice. Looks like she wants, or Carblum with choice. She gets deferred over by Meyer. Meyer in the top position. Carblum chooses bottom. 3-1 lead for Ava Carblum. Broncos are down early in this one, 6-0 with that pin at 148 pounds. So it's Cunningham over Ranky by fall if you're just tuning in. So our dual score 6-0 in favor of Dickinson. Carblam able to get to her feet. Meyer's going to take her. So the score is 4-3. Looks like Meyer has the lead. I might have missed something there, but 4-3 lead here for Clancy Meyer. I was thinking Carblam started in the bottom position, but she must have went to the feet. So 4-3 is the score. Meyer has an armbar locked up on Carblam. She's going to take Carblam over. So Meyer has the armbar locked up on Carblam, has her over on her back, counting some near fall down there as the official. So Meyer at least has 4 near fall coming. She's going to settle into the spinning combination with 50 seconds remaining. There's 155 pounds in her duel. Dickinson trying to go up 12-0. Carblam still fighting off her back. Meyer has the arm barred up over the top. Carblam's going to roll through, goes the other way. Meyer settles back in. Now is going to try to tighten up the grip. Carblam back down on her hip. Meyer goes to the half Nelson, stretches out, chest on chest, and made the T on top of the pin for Clancy Meyer over Ava Carblam at 155 pounds. And that'll put Dickinson up in the duel now 12-0. That takes us into 170 pounds in our duel. So the Broncos give up 2 pins early to Dickinson at 148 and now at 155 pounds. And this could bring up Colby McIlvain of Dickinson, placed 3rd at the state tournament at 170 pounds. She's taking on Cora Oster for the Broncos. 2-time state qualifier. Oster placed 8th last year at the state tournament. Wasn't able to make it through the blood rounds this year, and right away McIlvain with the takedown goes right away into the crossface cradle. Dickinson coming out aggressive on the Broncos. Right off the takedown, McIlvain goes into the crossface cradle. Oster able to fight it off. McIlvain goes back, works the ankle. Has Oster broke down, belly down in the mat. Now goes to an armbar on the left side. He's going to walk this around, catches the far wrist. Oster able to get back up to her base. McIlvain goes back, works the leg, just constantly working on top here is Colby McIlvain, and the win by fall in a 18-0 lead for Dickinson. The Broncos now with the big hole to crawl out of, we're going to rely on Nevaeh Buffett to get him on the scoreboard. They're down 18-0. See if Lisbon can get a couple points back. Here in their upper weights now at 190 pounds with the 5th place finisher at state at 190 pounds, Nevaeh Buffett of Lisbon Broncos. Let's get this score updated. 18-0 is the dual score. And we are at 190 pounds. And just the start of the first period, here's Nevaeh Buffett out there wrestling for the Broncos. And she's taking on Kendra Erickson for Dickinson. See Erickson not making it into the state tournament at 190. So the Broncos maybe looking at this as a match that they may be able to get back into the duel here with Buffett. Erickson's going to go to work, try to work a Russian tie on Buffett. Buffett's going to push her away. Now circling little stance motion, goes back into a collar tie. Just working off that center circle. Very aggressive with the kind of the head position there with Kendra Erickson. Nevaeh Buffett now goes back in. Buffett goes to a collar tie. Erickson goes back, trying to work the Russian tie. She's 2-on-1. Has the wrist caught of Buffett. Working up underneath, kind of fish hooked on the arm. On the same arm, Buffett goes back to a collar tie, now circling, keeping her feet moving here for Buffett. So 18-0 lead here for Dickinson. And a little level change by Erickson doesn't fool the Buffett. They go back in. 20 seconds remaining first period. He had 190 pounds. We'll take a look at some of these other duels. At 170 pounds, it's Minot over Central Cass early 9-0. That's over on mat number 3. Chase Miller with the call on that one on your live event. On mat number 5 in the Girls State Dual Tournament Consolation Semifinal, another one is South Border and Grand Forks. Grand Forks up over South Border. That's at 112 pounds. That's 24-12 in favor of Grand Forks. And then their semifinal duel between Bismarck Legacy and the Bismarck Demons. Right now, the Demons are up 24-0. That's at 250 pounds over Bismarck Legacy in that other semifinal duel. And start of our second period, minute 38 on the clock between Buffett and Erickson. They're back to their feet, still scoreless. And this is in the second period. We are scoreless here between Nevaeh Buffett and Kendra Erickson. Erickson going back, trying to work that Russian tie. Buffett pushes her away. Haven't seen too much as far as any kind of head and arm attacks or any leg attacks by Nevaeh Buffett. Erickson's been really aggressive. Now a double leg blaster by Buffett takes Erickson out to the edge of the mat. So great level change, double leg blast. But Erickson is able to keep those feet underneath her. And it looks like we do have our first Bank North .Bank blood timeout over here on mat number 4. So that's your Bank North blood timeout. Bank North has been trusted financial partner for generations, helping customers and communities build, grow, and prosper. To see what values-based banking can do for you, visit iBank North or banknorth.bank today. Bank North, member FDIC, an equal housing lender. That's banknorth.bank. That is your Bank North blood timeout. As the coach is over there taking care of Nevaeh Buffett. Well, she had a scratch open up or some cut open up on her forehead, it looks like. So they're going to go with the tape. Likely around the forehead and the headgear as they're going to take care of that. Try to update you on the boys' duels on what's happening down there. See if I can get that feed up. As we are in that Bank North.Bank blood timeout over here. The wrestler is heading back to the center of the mat. But I will try to update you as we're back into action. Buffett now working head position. Big head snap, aggressive stance over there by Kendra Erickson as she's really working the head and arm on Nevaeh Buffett. Buffett did have that leg attack, just as I was saying. They hadn't seen much out of her. She hit a nice double leg blast, but Erickson is able to keep her feet underneath her before that blood time. And they were called out. Erickson really pushing on the head and the shoulders. Buffett's going to back up. Now wades back into her. I just don't think Nevaeh Buffett's one wrestler you want to make too mad as she goes down. Nice single leg attack, but Erickson's going to be able to step around behind her. So Buffett with the high crotch shot. Erickson steps around behind, locks up a half Nelson. As I said, these Dickinson wrestlers waste no time. They go right into the pinning combination. Good chain wrestling here by Dickinson, coming out real aggressive. I noticed that about them last year at the state wrestling tournament. Just a real aggressive posture here by Dickinson coming out, taking it to the Broncos, now up 18-0. Should say a very physical looking team carrying that over from last year's dual team here for Dickinson. And it looks like we have some injury time now over here for Buffett. Yeah, still looking. See if I can get you into those boys dual scores. So we do have some injury time over here in this match between Buffett and Erickson in the Dickinson Lisbon girls state dual tournament, or the state dual match here in the consolation rounds. And just looking at the boys on the Class B side in those semifinal duels, right now it's South Border over Bowman County Beach by a score of 24-6. That's at 107 pounds. They started their duels at 160. And then the other semifinal duel between Velva and Oaks. Right now, that's still at 160 pounds down there. It looks like it's 12-7. And if that updates, that match should be over. Going to see if I can see. It was a 12-7 score at the end of the third period, so it looks like Zaid Heyer of Oaks picked up the win by decision over Max Campbell. And Nevaeh Buffett comes out after the break, gets back into it, comes out, throws down Erickson for the win by fall for Nevaeh Buffett. So Buffett gets the Broncos on the scoreboard. After the injury time, she came out, takes Erickson down, puts her on her back, and the win by fall for Nevaeh Buffett. Yeah, she's looking like she picks up that HTC connection of the match out there with that move and getting the Broncos on the scoreboard here after 190 pounds. Now the dual score 18-6. In mat number 4 action now between Dickinson and Lisbon. It's Aaliyah Bannister of Dickinson taking on Ella Sad. Sad plays 4th at the state tournament. In the starting lineup full time this year for the Broncos from the start to the end of the season. There she's out here working collar ties on Bannister. So now Sad snaps down Bannister, takes her down to the mat, it's going to bowl her over. The 3-point takedown here for Ella Sad. Sad trying to make it 2 pins in the roll, get the Broncos on a roll. These pins can become contagious. Get your team fired up. Here's Sad. She throws on the half Nelson on Bannister. She's going to take her over. And working for a fall. Now Ella Sad up over the top. Going to go chest on chest. Make the T on top for the Broncos. Trying to pick up the fall in the first period. The win for Ella Sad of the Lisbon Broncos. Bannister, a freshman for Dickinson. A state qualifier. Ella Sad for the Broncos, a junior. And she wins by fall. She's placed 4th at the individual state tournament. Now with a win at heavyweight for the Broncos in this duel. Our dual score now 18-12. Going into 100 pounds. So dual score 18-12 at 100 pounds. We'll see what this matchup here brings us. We have Melina Rebsum for the Lisbon Broncos at 100 pounds. And for Dickinson, looks like Aaron Martin. So Rebsum for Lisbon, an 8th grader. Aaron Martin, a freshman for Dickinson. Martin, a state qualifier this year. Rebsum, a state qualifier for Lisbon last year. We'll see how this matchup turns out. With the Broncos down by 6 points, wrestlers back locked up into a collar tie. Martin with the collar on Rebsum. Rebsum, her back towards the center of the circle, or middle circle, or center circle. Now Martin spins back around. She's holding the center of the mat. Goes to aggressive underhook on Rebsum. Now goes back to a collar tie. And Martin still working the collar. Rebsum has a hold of the arm with the collar tie, kind of working an elbow pass on her. So hard collar here by Aaron Martin of Dickinson. Now goes double collars, working back over on the left side on Rebsum. Wrestlers still up on their feet with a minute remaining in the first period. Now collar tie by Martin. Rebsum with her back towards the edge of the mat. Martin holding the center. Martin going inside tie, has a hold of the inside arms up just below the shoulders. Rebsum's going to dive down on a single leg shot. Martin up over the top, hard sprawl with the front headlock. Looked up. Rebsum's able to crack her down, trying to turn the corner. If she can go arm around the waist, she just missed it. Not sure if it's experience, but she still has a hold of the right leg on Martin, letting Martin kind of scoot those hips back up over the top. If Rebsum could have went arm around the waist, she could have got the takedown. Now Rebsum's going to walk this back around, see if she can step over. She's still with that single leg. No score, no points in this match. Final 5 seconds of the first period. Martin still in control, or still in the top position of the situation, and they're going to go into the end of the period scoreless. in that scramble between Aaron Martin and Melina Rebsum. Rebsum just missed. She'd have swam that arm back around the waist. She could have scored that takedown. Martin with choice. She's going to choose neutral. So Martin chooses both up to start the period. As we do have the semifinal duels for the boys going on here in Class A, Class B, opposite ends of the dome. The Broncos here on the girls' side in the girls' state dual tournament are in the consolation round. So now 18-12 is our dual score. We're here at 100 pounds. Aaron Martin, Melina Rebsum, they're still scoreless with 1:25 remaining in the second period. Now Rebsum up over the top. And it goes to that front headlock position. She's going to try to turn the corner. Martin able to grab the leg into the high crotch, trying to hit the fireman. She has the far arm caught over the back over the neck. And Martin down on the leg on Rebsum. Rebsum trying to hit the crossface. Martin stands up. She'll try to elevate. Rebsum in some trouble. Takes her down to the mat. Now a 3-point lead for Aaron Martin. Martin goes to a crossface. Down to 50 seconds remaining. So Aaron Martin for Dickinson in the top position, goes to the crossface. Works back under on the left side with a spiral on the wrist. Hits the half Nelson on the right. Rebsum stands up. See if she can score with 30 seconds remaining. Second period looked like a clasp, and it is a clasp call here on Martin. Rebsum's going to stand up again, see if she can pick up another point before the end of the period. Right now, it's 3-0 score. Rebsum will have 1 point coming to her with the clasp. So Rebsum, if she can pick up another point with the escape, she has 16 seconds to work an escape here in the second period. She'll have a bottom position restart. Off the whistle, Martin goes to chop the arm, gets Rebsum broke belly down. Here with 10 seconds remaining in the second period. And that looks like that'll do it for the period. 3-1 lead for Aaron Martin. Rebsum's going to go neutral to start the third. This is at 100 pounds. The Broncos picking up back-to-back wins, back-to-back pins at 190 and 250 from a couple of their state place winners on the individual side. Nevaeh Buffett at 190 and then Ellis Add at 250 pounds. And the big upset, shouldn't say it's a real big upset, but it was the number 3 state place winner, Clancy Meyer, at 155 pounds, placed third. She won by fall over the state runner-up, Ava Carblum. And here's the Rebsum, just kind of willed herself into this takedown. Now she takes the 4-3 lead over Aaron Martin. She goes to a crossface on Martin, goes to the screwdriver. Martin able to stand up with the 1 point escape. We're tied up at 4 in the third period with 1:17 to go. Martin's going to go double collars on Rebsum. Now tries to hit a headlock. Rebsum's going to drop down. Martin able to recover. Rebsum takes him to the edge of the mat. We're scrambling on the edge. Martin gets Rebsum broke down. Still hasn't turned the corner for the takedown, and the 3 points awarded on the edge of the mat. Rebsum just lost the scramble on the edge. Now gets back to her feet. 7-4 lead for Martin. Martin's going to go. Looked like she had a full Nelson, and the official didn't call it, so must have been good over there on that far side. Looks like she had both hands dug in around the neck. So we're 7-4 lead for Aaron Martin at Dickinson. Final 30 seconds. We'll see if Rebsum can get back up to her feet. Martin goes a half Nelson. Kind of opposite side. She has the wrist spiraled on the left side, 1.5 Nelson on the right. Rebsum's going to try to stand up. The clasping again by Martin as she takes Rebsum down to the mat, and the official calls it off, ways off the clasp. So it looks like a win by decision, 7-4 here for Aaron Martin with 5 seconds remaining. And that'll do it. Aaron Martin with the win by decision over Melina Rebsum. So there was a clasp So it's 7-5. Looks like that's your final score, Aaron Martin. So Aaron Martin wins by decision, 7-5 over Melina Repson. There was another point awarded at the end of the period. And now Dickinson with another 3 points go up 21-12 on the Broncos. Going into 106 pounds, the Broncos need to answer back as they were able to string together a couple pins, gaining some momentum, heading into that 100-pound match. The Broncos will send out Addison Booman. She's going to wrestle Lucia Severi of Dickinson, an 8th grader. So a couple of 8th graders going out, big dual points out here still on the map for the Broncos. If they could pick up a fall or a bonus point win here from Addison Booman. So this is at 106 pounds. The Broncos down in the duel, 21-12. Booman underneath there. Severi up over the top. They're kind of in a scramble situation position. Booman's going to grab the leg. She's fairly comfortable wrestling down here in that position. As we will take a look at that Tim Kazed seed sale scoreboard here, Golden Harvest scoreboard. In a moment, right now, Booman in down on the leg on Severi, has her head kind of tucked to the outside. Severi is just working over the top, goes to a crossface. Booman going to try to work back around. Still caught up underneath. Severi not able to turn the corner just yet to score the takedown. Booman still working on the leg. Severi works over the top, goes to a crossface. Booman kind of huddled up, hunched down in that situation position. Severi still trying to get around, turn the corner. Booman able to hang on to the leg. She's going to be able to crack her down. So Severi's down on her hip. Let's see if Booman can turn the corner. Still now Severi gets back around behind Addison Booman for the 3-point takedown. Locks in a half Nelson on the far side. Booman's still working on the leg. We'll see if she can work up to her base. Severi just a little bit high. Final 10 seconds of the period. She has a deep half locked up on Addison Booman. Severi with the lead, now up 3-0 at 106 pounds. Booman's going to choose the top position. So take a look at that Tim Kazed Seed Sales Golden Harvest scoreboard over on mat number 3. Minot leads 27-18 over Central Cass in the semifinal matchup. And then over on mat number 6, that's Bismarck Demons over Bismarck Legacy in the other semifinal. 30-3 on that Tim Kazed Seed Sales Golden Harvest scoreboard. Right now here in the Lisbon Broncos, they're down to Dickinson in this consolation round duel by a score of 21-12. Booman in the top position. Here in the second period, she has some near fall coming her way, has an armbar locked up, working for a fall here is Addison Booman. Severi looks like maybe she got back around over on the top as the pinning combination slips out. So a forward near fall for Booman, and then a reversal, I think, coming. Still no reversal yet, I should say, for Severi. So Booman goes up 4-3 with 1:10 remaining. Severi working down on the arm. Booman looks like she has a half Nelson, and she's able to counter this reversal attempt. Now goes to a crossface cradle on Severi. She's going to lock that up. Sticks the knee in the back, so we'll see if she can pull this back or drag Severi back over her knee. Severi able to get back to her belly. Booman's going to go in, still working underneath. Now goes to another armbar, catches the far wrist. Severi trying to post up. Booman going back. Hits the bar half now, half Nelson on the right side here for Addison Booman. See if she can make the adjustment. Goes back to the half Nelson, sinks this one in deep. Just trying to work the backside right now. Severi doing a good job tying up her back, legs, and ankles. Here with 20 seconds remaining in the second period. And Booman leads now 4-3. Severi broke down on her belly. Booman's going to try to turn the corner. She has the half Nelson in. trying to clear her legs on the backside. Cheverry's going to go back up, turns the hips into Booman, or I should say away from him. Booman has the power half hooked up. Final 3 seconds of the period. And just as time expires, Cheverry goes over, but no near fall. Cheverry has choice. She's going to go neutral with Addison Booman. She's down by 1 point. And at the start of this period, Booman's able to get Cheverry, broke belly down, just not up on her toes and hitting that go behind. So once you get a wrestler in that position, you really got to start working the head and getting up on your toes and moving. Just don't take the stalemate, as they are called into a stalemate now, 4-3. So got to think offensive. The Broncos need the points in this duel. They're down 21-12. You're at 106 pounds. The wrestlers back up to their feet. Cheverry had choice. She chose neutral position. Booman does have the 4-3 lead. She's up by 1 point. Takedown by Cheverry and put her up by 2. Takedown for Booman will extend this lead with 1:12 remaining in the third period. So now Cheverry has Booman down on her hip. She's working the leg. Booman trying to get those hips back up. Cheverry in deep on the leg. Has Booman in some trouble. She's going to go arm around. Booman able to scoop those hips up. She saves the takedown attempt. Now Cheverry's going to go up, doubles up on Booman, takes her down. Arm caught behind the head there on Cheverry. So Booman gives up the takedown. And 2 near fall. So 6-4, put the near fall on there now, 8-4 with 28 seconds remaining. So it looks like 8-4 lead here for Lucia Cheverry of Dickinson. Yeah, she's going to go run an armbar here. Booman. Final 8 seconds. She's in the bottom position. Cheverry's going to pick up more near fall at the end of the period. She's going to try to get a bonus point win out of this. And there is 4 near fall. That's 12-4. That's a major win by major decision. 12-4 for Lucia Cheverry. So she doesn't settle for the decision. She goes for more points. And that's 25-12. Now in favor of Dickinson. So scored 25-12, brings us to 112 pounds. Here's Maddie Krellen going out for the Broncos. 7th grader state qualifier. So in Regan Stravia for Dickinson plays 6th at the state tournament. So Maddie Krellen, Regan Stravia going out there. Krellen and Stravia with the 3-point takedown. Krellen looked like she was going to try to throw a headlock. Stravia going out there real aggressive, kind of that Dickinson posture. And she goes right away into an armbar combination on Krellen. Dickinson leads by a score of 25-12. And Stravia in the top position. Works up underneath on the right side. Looks up at her coaches. Coach is giving her some instructions. As down to 1:09 remaining in the first period. 3-0 lead here for Stravia. She's going to go deep pass. Catches the far wrist. Takes Krellen over in the pin. For Regan Stravia. And our dual score now 31-12 in favor of Dickinson. As they keep growing that lead with the pin at 112 pounds. Takes us to 118. Coming out, Arlie Romerman for Lisbon. Broncos still haven't answered back after the back-to-back wins at 190 and 250. Dickinson strung together. Wins at 100, 106, and 112. Now going to 118 pounds. So here's Arlie Romerman, still scoreless in the first period, minute 43. So Ariana Loran for Dickinson, state qualifier. She's a senior. Wrestling Arlie Romerman for the Lisbon Broncos. Romerman, state qualifier last year as an 8th grader, freshman this year, not making the state tournament. She goes down 3-0, takedown by Loran. She's in the top position, goes back right away, spirals the wrist, works for a half Nelson. Now goes 2-on-1. Romerman down on her hip. Loran up over the top. So in good riding position here for Ariana Loran. See if we can take another look at our scoreboard, at our Timka Zed Seed Sales Golden Harvest scoreboard. That duel on mat number 3, semifinals. Minot 33, Center Cass 24. That's at 130 pounds. Keep in mind we did start these duels at 148. So that duel moving right along over there on mat number 3. That's a semifinal matchup between Central Cass and Minot. That's 33-24 lead for Minot. And then your other semifinal duel is the Bismarck Demons over Bismarck Legacy, 36-6. That's at 118 pounds. And then the Night Riders earlier defeated the South Porter Mustangs on another consolation round duel. And looks like we're going into the second period here now. 3-0 is the score. So Loran up 3-0 going into the second period. 2 minutes on the clock. Off the whistle, Romerman goes right away, hits the crossface, working under the back leg. Loran's going to catch her Romerman high up over the top. Romerman trying to stick in the leg ride, see if she can get back there as Loran has her head caught. Romerman goes back to the leg ride. She's going to try to stretch out Loran. Has a half Nelson locked in. Loran has to let go of the head, so good adjustment by Romerman. So that dual score, 31-12. Romerman in the top position. She has now double boot ride in. She's got Loran stretched out. Loran now able to shake Romerman off, going to try to bowl her over. She's going to stack her up, has the head caught, the official down there, slaps the man, the pin for Ariana Loran over Arlie Romerman of the Broncos. And Dickinson now up 37-12. So now back up here at 124 pounds. Dickinson stringing together 4 wins in a row after Broncos with pins at 190 and 250. So we're 37-12 at 124 pounds. Duel started at 148. And here's Gillespie. Gillespie with the high crotch turns the corner on Ember Waters of Dickinson. Gillespie goes up 3-0. Like I said, Gillespie, number of years, she's had a great high crotch shot, just has a hard time with the finish. If she can get that down for next year, she could be dangerous on her feet here. Now, with the minute 15 remaining, she's up 3-0. She gets a little bit high, so Waters able to turn those hips into Gillespie. Gillespie working the hands, trying to work back towards the head. They're in that situation position with Gillespie on top. Has kind of draped over the back, has the back ankle. Now Waters able to kind of crack Gillespie down. Gillespie working back up over the top. That leg of hers, those officials got to kind of watch that, as that looks almost potentially dangerous. Gillespie's going to hip toss, kind of a hip whizzer over. They're on Waters. Waters runs her over with the hands around the waist. The 2-point reversal now. 3-2 is the lead for Gillespie with 25 seconds remaining in the first period. So Waters with the reversal. Goes 2-on-1 ride underneath. Now isolating the wrist, goes into that chicken wing ride. Bars it up at the end of the first period. 10 seconds remaining. So Emma Waters had the arm bar. Gillespie momentarily was able to pop up to her base, tried to stretch the arm out, but Waters was able to get her back down to the mat. And at the end of the period, 3-2 lead for Emma Gillespie at 124 pounds. She takes a look over at the coach. So the coach tells her to take neutral. That's a good choice there for Gillespie. She's going to start this period on her feet. She did have choice. She's up by 1 point over Ember Waters at 124 pounds. Gillespie state qualifier for Lisbon, placed 8th at the East Region tournament. Ember Waters, a senior for Dickinson, a state qualifier as well at 124 pounds. And Waters with the takedown, locks up the inside cradle on Gillespie. Gillespie going to try to bridge, but just not enough. Waters just attacked at that cradle and threw Gillespie right over to her back. And the win by fall for Ember Waters. And now 43-12. Dual score 43-12 in favor of Dickinson, as we're going out to 130 pounds. So at 130 pounds, that was Brianna Erickson for Dickinson, a state qualifier. She goes right away into a double leg, not wasting any time in this match for Dickinson. And she's wrestling Violet Heen, the Lisbon Broncos. Violet in her first year of wrestling here for Lisbon. A junior with an 11-21 record. So Erickson in the top position goes 2-on-1. Broncos making it their first state dual team tournament appearance. A nice arm drag attempt there by Heen. Erickson able to circle back around. The wrestlers holding the center of the mat. 3-1's the score. Brianna Erickson up over Violet Heen. And a double leg shot for Erickson. She takes Heen down to her back. Erickson working for a fall as Heen went right to her back. So it was the big double leg feet to back takedown there by Brianna Erickson, the freshman for Dickinson. Gets the near fall. She's going to let Heen up. Now the score 10-2. With the additional takedown and the near fall. A couple escapes by Violet Heen. And Erickson back down, working a nice high crotch fireman's, takes Heen down to her hip. The 3-point takedown for Brianna Erickson. The score of 13-2. Erickson's going to go right into a pinning combination. She turns the corner, throws on the half Nelson, working for a fall over here on mat number 4. In this duel, the Consolation semifinal duel between the Broncos and the Midgets. It's now a 4-point near fall, 17-2 win by technical decision. And that'll do it over at 130 pounds. So 5 points on the board. Now 48-12. Going into 136 pounds. And that'll bring up 136. We'll see what Dickinson does. They send out a wrestler at 136 pounds. The Broncos send out Emerson Schwab. And that looks like that's Christina Dorman, state qualifier. She's a junior for Dickinson. Emerson Schwab for the Broncos placed 4th at the state tournament. 3-time state place winner. And she's a junior for the Broncos. So wrestlers now just locked up. Dorman goes underhook. Schwab hits the high crotch fireman's, takes Dorman down to the mat. The 3-point takedown for Schwab on Dorman. She's going to go half Nelson, catches the far wrist. Actually has the arm barred up. She's going to try to walk this around. Now goes back opposite side, goes bar half, has the half Nelson on the right side. Switches it up, goes back around to the left side. So running these half Nelsons, trying to find an opening here on Dorman. She's going to run this around, has the far wrist caught here for Schwab. See if she can put Lisbon on the board again. She does, finally answers back. Had that half Nelson buried in deep on Dorman, took her over in the win by fall for Emerson Schwab. And now here at 142 pounds. So we're 48-18 in the duel. We're at 142 pounds. Duel started at 148. Take a look at that Tim Kazed Seed Sales Gordon Harvest scoreboard over on mat number 3. That's 39-27 duel score. That's at 142 pounds, so it looks like no path to victory over there for the Central Cass Squirrels, as Minot looks like they make it into the championship. Central Cass will wrestle for third. And then on mat number 6, semifinal action on this Tim Kazeg Golden Harvest Seed Sale scoreboard. So it's Bismarck Demons over Bismarck Legacy, 36-11. And out here at 142 pounds, this consolation round duel, we're at 142. Here's Veda Carbon for the Broncos and Anna Karski for Dickinson. Karski with the takedown. She's working a half Nelson. Carbon on her stomach, trying to base up. Not able to scoot those hips up underneath her. Spiral the wrist by Karski. On the right side, Carbon able to quad pod up, stands up, clears the hips for the escape. 3-1's your score. She hit the shot off of the stand-up. Karski able to down block, steps away, now works back towards the center of the mat with wrist ties and collar ties. Carblum's going into her, being aggressive here for Veda Carblum. Doing more pushing here for Carblum. Snap down there. Karski was able to use that forward momentum. Snaps Carblum down, going to run an inside cradle. Takes Carblum over, working for the fall. See if Dickinson can finish this one off with the pin. They're up big, 48-18 over the Broncos. Anna Karski with the inside cradle locked up on Carblum. So Carblum with the right shoulder up, gets back belly down. So we're 4 near fall, 10-1's the score, 17 seconds remaining in the first period. Anna Karski for Dickinson up 10-1. So just trying to find out, looked at the wrong team there, find out where Karski finished in the state tournament as they go at the end of the first period. 10-1 lead going into the second. Anna Karski up over Carblum by a score of 10-1. Karski chooses the bottom position here at 142 pounds. Karski not making it into the state tournament this year, so both Carblum and Karski getting their chance to wrestle in the state dual team tournament. Clasping call against Carblum, the 1 point, 11-1. Now in favor of Karski with that clasping call. So our score 11-1, now 12-1. Also with the 1 point escape for Karski. So she's up 12-1 over Carblum. Carblum working the head. See if she can set up the big throw. A snap down by Karski has Carblum on the mat, now goes to the front headlock. Last time she did that, she was able to lock up an inside cradle and threw Carblum over to her back. And Carblum pushes Karski out. Back off the edge of the mat. They're back to the center for a restart with 1:15 remaining. And Carblum with the takedown, now 12-4 with a minute remaining. The escape for Karski. Carblum lets her back up. Karski snaps down. Carblum steps around behind. They're trading takedowns. 16-4 is the score. So Karski going to work on top, has the left wrist caught. Looks like she's trying to dig out. A hammerlock goes half Nelson on the right side. So Karski still working on top, goes to the crossface cradle. Still working that crossface on Carblum. Works up over the top. Goes back to it once again. Carblum trying to quad pod up. Final 2 seconds. And Carblum will make it into the third period. She's down 16-4. This will be the final match of the duel. Last duel going on here in the consolation round. There's still a semifinal duel between the Demons and the Sabres. That's 36-16 in favor of the Bismarck Demons. They're at 130 pounds. And here at the start of this third period, 16-4. Trying to see Carblum in the bottom position. Karski runs an armbar on Carblum. And the win by fall in the end of the duel. So Anna Karski of Dickinson runs the armbar on Carblum in the third period. Turns her over for the win by fall. That final duel score now 54-18 in favor of Dickinson. So the Broncos wrestling for 7th place in the state tournament. They're going to face their old foes, the South Border Mustangs, in that 7th place duel later on today. As we will come back, wrap things up here from this consolation round duel between the Lisbon Broncos and Dickinson. And that's just moments away on yourliveevent.com.
What's going on today?
I've got a planter in the shop, and I had the guys from Agassiz Precision Ag come over and do an inspection.
You upgrading systems or working on maintenance?
Both, actually. We walked some fields last summer and found areas where we can improve. So we are installing Delta Force and some new opening discs.
I bet we're in the same boat. I should give them a call.
Yep, they'll come out and look over the planter with you and put a plan together. They are the guys I go to for answers.
Agassiz Precision Ag, your local precision planting dealer. Call 701-636-2119 or planterdoc.com.
Homegrown local radio is now worldwide with 24-hour streaming. Download the RJ Radio app to hear local voices from local radio with KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ 24 hours a day from anywhere. You can listen to your favorite programs like the RJ Family Morning Show, local news, farm markets, music, high school sports, church services, more from anywhere. KRJB, KRJM, and 96.7 KKCQ is streaming on the RJ Radio app. Download it to your device and take us with you wherever you go.
Growers, prepare your fields and yields against the wet conditions for 2025 and beyond with a drain tile project from Chad's Excavating out of Mayville. Drain tiling will improve and increase your yields and land values for years to come. Chad's Excavating provides free, detailed estimates, and with over 40 years of combined success, they provide professional installation and service. Call Chad today to prepare for your future and any questions that you might have. That's Chad's Excavating out of Mayville, helping farmers grow.
All right, welcome back here at yourliveevent.com as we'll wrap things up here from the Fargo Dome in this consolation round duel between the Dickinson Midgets and the Lisbon Broncos. In this duel, it started at 148 pounds, and it was Jemiah Cunningham of Dickinson over Alexis Ranke by fall. Dickinson went up 6-0 at 155 in a featured matchup. It was the third-place finisher at 155, Clancy Meyer, a winner by fall over state runner-up Ava Carblum. In 3 minutes and 38 seconds, Dickinson picked up another win by fall. They went up 12-0, and they won again by pin, this time at 170 pounds, where Kobe McIlvain over Cora Oster with a win by fall in 45 seconds. 18-0, the Lisbon Broncos had answered back with that HTC connection of the duel at 190 and 250 pounds. So that's your HTC connection of the duel, 190 and 250 for the Lisbon Broncos, where you can discover local reliability, can trust at Halstead Telephone Company. It's how to connect here with your HTC connection of the duel. That's going out here at 190 and 250 pounds, where Nevaeh Buffett of the Lisbon Broncos and Elisad would pick up back-to-back pins. The Broncos finally on the scoreboard. It was 18-12 in the duel at that time. But after that HTC connection, Dickinson would pick up 6 more wins in a row before the Lisbon Broncos would answer back at 136 pounds with Emerson Schwab. Yeah, Schwab would defeat Christina Dorman by fall in 59 seconds for the Broncos. Final points on the board. And then Anna Karski finished it out at 142 pounds for Dickinson with a pin. And that is your final dual score, 54-18. Dickinson over the Broncos. The Broncos now wrestling for 7th place as they will take on the South Border Mustangs. And we will go out and go ahead and give your Enbridge Energy Wrestler of the Duel. So Enbridge Energy Wrestler of the Duel from Enbridge, where life takes energy. That's Energy for Life at Enbridge.com for your career opportunities. And that's going to go out to Clancy Meyer Dickinson with that featured matchup win over Ava Carblum of the Lisbon Broncos. And that's just kind of how things went for the Broncos in that duel. So Clancy won by fall over Ava Carblum in 3 minutes and 38 seconds. And that just really set the tone and the standard for the duel with that win at 155 pounds. The Broncos really not able to recover after that, as they went down 18-0 after the 170-pound matchup. And that is your Enbridge Energy Wrestler of the Duel. There is Clancy Meyer of Dickinson. And then your Agassi Egg Precision Move of the match. That's going to go at 190 pounds to Nevaeh Buffett. So your Agassi Egg Precision Move of the match goes out to Nevaeh Buffett of the Lisbon Broncos. Buffett went down in her match 3-0. She had a couple nice double leg blasts, just not able to finish them. Then came back after the timeout for an injury and was able to throw down her opponent, Kendra Erickson, and wins by fall in the 3rd period. And that started that HTC connection with another pin by Elisad at 250 pounds. Right, and after that, the duel was 18-12, but the Broncos gave up 6 more after the HTC connection in that win by Nevaeh Buffett and Elisad. And they go down to the duel 48-18, but your Agassi Egg Precision Move of the match going out to Nevaeh Buffett of the Lisbon Broncos at 190 pounds. And we will take a look at that Tim Kazed seed sale scoreboard in the North Dakota High School Girls Dual Team Tournament, as we will take a look at the brackets. Before we step away, we'll come back with that 7th place duel for the Broncos. And that duel scheduled to start at 2:30 p.m., so we will have another feed up for that. You can probably catch that right around 2:15, but we will have another feed up as the Broncos will wrestle for 7th place against the South Border Mustangs. As in the consolation rounds, it was Grand Forks over South Border by a score of 42-27. Dickinson down Lisbon by a score of 54-18. Dickinson and Grand Forks wrestling for 5th place. That's also at 2:30. And then Central Cass wrestling for 3rd place, and they will take on more than likely Bismarck Legacy in the first semifinal duel on the girls' state dual team tournament. In that first semifinal, it was Minot over Central Cass by a score of 45-27. And then Bismarck Legacy and Bismarck right now. I should say that duel did go final. So it looks like that, I don't know, wait, that duel is still going on right now. It looks like Bismarck Demons are up in that duel 36-16. That's at 130 pounds right now. Legacy working for a pin over there. see if they can close things up. But I would say that looks like a Minot versus Bismarck Demons in your state championship on the girls' side. That championship duel scheduled to start at 4 p.m. These placing round duels will start at 2:30 p.m., so we will step away and we'll come back with another feed for these placing round duels for Central Cass and the Lisbon Broncos in your girls' state dual team tournament on yourliveevent.com. And just like to thank everybody for joining us, and we will be back for more coverage as we'll step away, come back with that other feed for their state placing round duels at the North Dakota State Girls Dual Team Tournament.
In a world of chaos, you need superhero level protection.
I keep telling everyone they need to get the right protection for their lifestyle. Some do, we do.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. Get the right protection for your lifestyle. Go to IRIinsurance.com to get a free quote and consultation.
Triple E Incorporated in Page is cheering on the Raiders as they compete on and off the court and field. They put in the effort to build a team with trust, experience, and the ability to accomplish their goals. The team at Triple E Incorporated is built the same way, with knowledge and experience, with timeliness and efficiency. For your next non-residential building project, go online to eeeinc.com or stop by the office in Page for more information. Make your next project a winner with the team at Triple E Incorporated in Page.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting, with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
Hometown Community Bank serves both the Hope Page and Maple Valley school districts in Page and Fingal, North Dakota. If you're interested in an ag loan, real estate, consumer, commercial, or HELOC, give Dwight a call at either branch location. Reach out to Janine about investing in a certificate of deposit or save by opening a money market account. Proudly supporting the Maple River Raiders and wishing the athletes and coaches a successful year. Hometown Community Bank is an equal housing lender and member of the FDIC. Stay up to date all year long with your live event from our social platforms with X, Facebook, and YouTube. From the latest coaches show to watch game broadcasts back on demand from earlier in the season. Search your live event on YouTube and hit subscribe.
Outside the three-point arc. Tick and pop here with Spaeth into the left side corner. Three, good.
For the complete and most up-to-date schedule throughout the year, head to our website at yourliveevent.com.